Melbourne's election battlegrounds. The competition and campaign tactics are getting fierce. Chisholm, Higgins, Goldstein and Kooyong. These are key seats that could change the outcome of who wins at the polls on May 21.
I'm here in Melbourne's eastern suburb of Box Hill. It's in the electorate of Chisholm, which is one of the most marginal seats in the country, held by just 0.5%.
Liberal Gladys Liu is up against union official Labor's Karina Garland. Anti-government sentiment over Australia-China trade relations is threatening Miss Liu's campaign.
There is an element of what we use the term China bashing and racism, and that has impacted on the Chinese/Asian Australian community, and the impact of that government rhetoric will impact on the vote of a younger generation of Chinese Australians.
The seat of Chisholm is one of the country's most diverse. More than 50% of people here were born overseas, with about 15% coming from China. But it's not just Australia-China tensions that matter to voters here. Key economic issues will also influence how they vote.
Waitress Joyce Kwan says housing affordability is also a big issue.
I know that in the future it's probably a little bit harder for me to even think about purchasing somewhere around the area or even close to Melbourne.
The 18-year-old also wants action to reduce carbon emissions.
More climate change policies in regards to cutting down fossil fuels, because there's only so much you can do as an individual to stop it.
The seat of Higgins, which takes in Melbourne's inner southeastern suburbs, is currently held by Liberal Katie Allen with a margin of 2.6%. Over the years, Liberal support here has been diminishing. If the party's first preference vote declines further, the electorate could be lost to Labor or the Greens. Business groups want investment in skills. They say with interest rates set to rise and cost of living issues compounding, people need secure and well-paid jobs.
Ensuring that they have access to sustainable long-term employment prospects, that's fundamental.
I'm here in Brighton. It's one of a number of Bayside suburbs that the electorate of Goldstein covers. And it's one of several seats held by the coalition that's being challenged by climate-focused independents. But it's not just climate change that matters to voters here.
Goldstein also covers the inland suburbs of Elsternwick and Gardenvale. Traditionally a safe Liberal seat, it's held by Tim Wilson with a margin of 7.8%. But now independent candidate Zoe Daniel poses a threat. The former ABC journalist is campaigning on big issues like climate change and political integrity. Cafe owner Andrew Gelman wants policies that make running a business easier, which includes helping his become more sustainable.
Climate change is a huge issue across the board. People want to see action. The biggest difference is going to be made if the government enforces it.
Mr Gelman also worries it's getting harder to get full-time staff in hospitality. He wants politicians to crack down on businesses that underpay workers and longer-term visas for migrants.
Maybe if migrant workers didn't have just a set amount of time, they would be looking at longer term work.
Another blue ribbon electorate, about 12 kilometres away, is Kooyong. This inner Melbourne area covers suburbs east of the CBD. Josh Frydenberg has held the seat since 2010, but there's a risk the federal treasurer could now lose it to independent Monique Ryan, who's campaigning on climate action and improved healthcare. While many voters here want action to save the environment, Hawthorn beauty therapist Maria Vlahos is more concerned about the post-pandemic recovery.
I think the big problem is the economy. Everybody's scared.
She says foot traffic is still down and wants businesses to get cash grants of up to $5,000 to help them get back on track.
Everybody's talking about normality and that it's not happening fast enough. So businesses are struggling.
The seat of Kooyong, which has existed since Federation, has always been held by the Conservative side of politics. But this year the challenge is which candidate can convince voters that a future under them is one where jobs and businesses boom.